The events unfolding in Port Charles on Monday, April 6, center heavily on the dramatic fallout at Marco Rios' funeral, alongside significant medical and personal developments for the Davis and Ashford families. And it all starts with Jens Sidwell. So Sidwell is standing there at the funeral, grieving his dead son. Marco is in a casket because Ross Cullum stabbed him to death at the law office, but Sidwell does not know that. Sidwell is completely in the dark about the real killer. He thinks Sonny Corinthos ordered the hit, and Sidwell is furious. He is a dangerous man when he is calm, but now he is a grieving father with unlimited resources and a massive grudge. So he is ready to burn the whole city down to get revenge. And then the doors open. Sonny Corinthos walks in, wearing a nice suit, because Sonny always wears a nice suit to these things. And he brings Rick Lansing with him. Rick is his lawyer now. Rick is trying to prove he is a better man. But walking into a funeral for a mob boss's son is a terrible idea. Rick knows it is a bad idea. He probably told Sonny not to go, but Sonny never listens. Sonny thinks he has to show up. He calls it preventing open warfare. He wants to look Sidwell in the eye and offer his condolences. He wants to prove he did not kill Marco. But Sidwell is not having it. Sidwell looks right at Sonny, and he snaps. He tells Sonny that he does not believe for a second that he is sorry. It is a tense moment, the kind of moment where everyone holds their breath, because bullets could start flying right there in the church. And Sonny is just standing there trying to play the diplomat, but it is not working. Sidwell is unleashing all his anger, and it is going to shake everything up before Marco is even laid to rest. But Sonny has other problems to deal with, because Carly is demanding answers. Carly always demands answers. She wants to know why Sonny would risk his life to go to the funeral of a man whose father wants him dead, and Sonny has to explain his moves. He has to justify his strategy. He thinks that if he hides, he looks guilty, and Sonny is innocent this time. For once in his life, Sonny actually did not order the hit. Ross Cullum is the one framing him. Cullum killed Marco because Marco stole Britt Westbourne's Huntington's medication from the Windermere safe, and Cullum is a dirty WSB director who covers his tracks. So Cullum pointed the finger at Sonny, and now Sonny is trying to clean up a mess he did not make. But Carly is skeptical. She questions his judgment. She is already stressed out about Jason Morgan being locked up in a WSB black site. Jason took the fall for Rocco Falconeri. Rocco shot Cullum to save Jason and Britt, and now Jason is gone. So Carly is on edge, and Sonny doing reckless things like crashing Marco's funeral is just pushing her over the edge. But Sonny defends himself. He says he has to show strength. He has to show Sidwell he is not afraid, even if Sidwell is planning a massive retaliation. And then there is Laura Collins. Laura's in a terrible position. Ezra Boyle pushed her into a corner. Ezra is a sketchy guy who works for Sidwell, and he told Laura she had to publicly denounce Sonny and Jason. He said it was the only way to protect herself, so Laura did it. She held a press conference, she stood up there, and turned her back on her friends, and she hated every single minute of it. Laura is a loyal person. She promised Lulu she would help find Jason, but now she is throwing Jason under the bus on live television. So Ezra comes up to her afterwards, and he is so smug. He pushes Laura to admit she is glad she took his advice. He thinks it is great news that she is distancing herself from Sidwell's enemies, but Laura is disgusted. She knows she is just a pawn. Sidwell is blackmailing her, and Ezra is just the messenger. But Laura had to do it to survive, because Sidwell is on the warpath, and anyone standing near Sonny is going to get caught in the crossfire, so Laura made the hard choice, but she is going to carry that guilt for a long time. Meanwhile, at General Hospital, things are incredibly stressful for the Davis women. Molly Lansing Davis is finally being admitted for her surgery. She has severe endometriosis. It has been ruining her life. It caused her infertility. It caused the whole tragic surrogate situation with Christina. And now she is hoping this procedure will finally give her some relief. So she is in her hospital bed, waiting. And Christina Corinthos Davis comes to visit her. Christina wants to be supportive. She wants to be a good sister. But Christina is also dealing with her own messy life, because Christina is spending a lot of time with Jacinda Bracken. Jacinda is Michael Corinthos' girlfriend. She is a former sex worker with expensive luggage and a complicated past, and Christina is trying to help Jacinda and Michael avoid family drama, especially with Tracy and Olivia judging Jacinda. But Christina is getting too involved. She is catching feelings. She has a massive crush on Jacinda, and Molly is very observant. Molly knows her sister, so during the visit, Molly points out a problem. She probably senses that Christina is crossing a line. She might call Christina out on her feelings for Jacinda, and Christina will probably get defensive, because Christina always gets defensive, but Molly is just trying to look out for her. Even while she is sitting in a hospital gown waiting to be cut open. So while the sisters are talking, Alexis Davis is falling apart in the waiting room. Alexis is terrified, and she has a confession to make. She admits she is a nervous wreck about Molly's surgery. Because hospitals are a nightmare for this family, Alexis cannot stop thinking about Sam McCall. Sam died. It was a tragedy. Cyrus Renault was involved, but Sam was only in the hospital because she was getting a liver transplant to save Lulu Spencer, and she never made it out. So Alexis is sitting there, remembering her dead daughter, and now her other daughter is going into surgery. It is too much for a mother to handle. The trauma is real, and Alexis is barely holding it together. But Cody Bell is there. Cody is Molly's boyfriend. He has been her rock through all this endometriosis pain. They just won a competition together. But now, reality is setting in. Cody is scared too. He loves Molly, and he hates seeing her in pain. So Cody and Alexis bond. They sit together and share their fears. They lean on each other, because that is all they can do while the doctors work on Molly. And then we have the Ashford drama, because there is always Ashford drama. Jordan Ashford is playing a very dangerous game. She is working for Sidwell, or at least she is pretending to. Sidwell blackmailed her. He threatened to destroy her life if she did not follow his orders. So Jordan is playing along, but she is secretly plotting to take him down. She wants to use his current vulnerability over Marco's death against him, but Isaiah Gannon is worried. Isaiah knows Sidwell is a monster, and Isaiah cares about Jordan, so he confronts her. He tells her she needs to quit her job. He actually agrees with Curtis Ashford for once, which is a miracle, because Isaiah and Curtis usually hate each other over the Portia situation, but on this, they agree. Jordan is in over her head, but Jordan is stubborn. She assures Isaiah that he does not need to worry about her. She insists she knows exactly what she is doing. She is a former police commissioner. She knows how to handle bad guys. But Isaiah is not convinced. He fears for her safety. He pushes her to be careful, because Sidwell just lost his son, and he has nothing left to lose. So speaking of Curtis, he is having a catch-up session with Nina Reeves. Nina is feeling guilty. Nina always feels guilty about something. She wants to mend fences, so she apologizes to Curtis. She says she is sorry for the part she played in Portia Robinson being forced to testify during Willow Kane's trial. That whole trial was a disaster. Willow is being blackmailed by Jack Brennan. Willow shot Drew Kane, and Sidwell helped cover it up. But Portia got dragged into it, and Nina feels bad. She also apologizes for being distracted, for letting their friendship get pushed aside. Because Nina has been dealing with Brennan, forcing her to choose between Willow and Charlotte Cassadine. But Curtis is a good guy. He does not hold a grudge against Nina. He accepts her apology. But he also gives her a warning. He tells her to be careful what she wishes for, because she just might get it. Nina has been wishing for a lot of things lately. She wants Valentine back. She wants her daughters safe. But Port Charles is a dangerous place right now. And Curtis knows that getting what you want usually comes with a terrible price. And all of this ties back to the massive web of lies covering the city. Because while Sonny is at the funeral getting yelled at by Sidwell, the real killer is sitting in a hospital bed. Ross Cullum. Cullum is awake. Jocelyn Jacks almost killed him, but Lucas Jones walked in. So Cullum survived. And Cullum is faking memory loss with Dante Falconeri. Dante wants to know why Cullum put a warrant out for Jason, but Cullum is playing dumb. Cullum knows Jason did not shoot him. Cullum was looking right at Jason when Rocco shot him in the back. But Cullum is a master manipulator. He is letting Jason take the fall. He is letting Sonny take the blame for Marco. And he is just sitting there, smoking his metaphorical cigarillos, watching the city tear itself apart. And Lucas is at Windermere. Lucas agreed to stay with Sidwell. Sidwell thinks Lucas is a comfort. But Lucas knows the truth. Lucas knows Cullum killed Marco, and Lucas is staying on the inside to get justice. It is a brilliant move, but it is so dangerous. Because if Sidwell finds out Lucas is playing him, Lucas is dead. And if Cullum finds out Lucas knows the truth, Lucas is dead. So the stakes are incredibly high. Every single person is walking a tightrope. Sonny is risking a mob war to clear his name. Laura is destroying her reputation to save her life. Jordan is playing double agent with a grieving psychopath. Nina is trying to outsmart a ruthless WSB director. And Molly is just trying to survive a surgery so she can have a normal life with Cody. It is a lot of moving parts, and it feels like the whole thing is going to collapse at any second, because you cannot keep this many secrets. Eventually, someone talks. Eventually, someone slips up. Like Cassius Faison pretending to be Nathan West. He already slipped up and blamed Jason and Britt in front of Lulu. Lulu knows Rocco did it, so Lulu got mad, and Cassius had to backtrack. But how long can Cassius keep up the act? Sidwell thinks Cassius is brilliant, but Cassius is cracking under the pressure, just like Rocco is cracking under the guilt. Rocco is a kid. He shot a federal agent, and now his hero, Jason Morgan, is locked away forever because of him. Danny Morgan is investigating. Charlotte is snooping. The kids are going to figure it out. And when they do, the explosion is going to be massive. But for now, it is all about Monday. It is all about the funeral. It is all about the hospital. Sonny standing in that church, looking Sidwell in the eye. Rick Lansing standing next to him, sweating through his suit. Sidwell spitting venom. "I don't believe for a second that you're sorry," the hatred in his voice. The absolute certainty that Sonny killed his boy. It is tragic because Sidwell actually loved Marco. In his own twisted, evil way, Sidwell loved his son, and Marco died trying to help Britt. Marco died trying to be a good person for Lucas. And Cullum slaughtered him for it. And now Sonny is taking the heat. It is classic Port Charles. The innocent guy gets blamed while the real monster hides in plain sight, and Sonny just has to take it. He has to stand there and take the abuse, because if he pulls a gun, the war starts right there in the pews. So he takes it. He goes back to Carly. He explains himself. He tries to keep his family safe. But Carly knows it is only a matter of time before Sidwell strikes back. Sidwell is not going to just yell at a funeral and go home. Sidwell is going to plan a hit. He is going to go after Christina, or Avery, or someone Sonny loves. That is how this works. Blood for blood. And while the mobster's posture, the real emotional weight is at General Hospital. Alexis Davis is the heart of this episode. Her confession about Sam is going to break viewers' hearts. Because Sam's death was so senseless, just like Marco's death, just like the danger Jason is in, it is all connected by this thread of violence and bad luck. Alexis has lost so much. She lost her law license for a while. She lost her daughter. She almost lost her mind. And now she is terrified of losing Molly. Molly is her youngest. Molly is the smart one, the stable one. And seeing her in a hospital gown, vulnerable and in pain, is triggering every bad memory Alexis has. Cody being there helps. Cody is a good guy. He is simple. He is honest. He is exactly what Molly needs right now. He is not a mobster. He is not a spy. He is just a guy who loves horses and loves his girlfriend. And Alexis sees that. Alexis appreciates that. So they sit together. They wait. They pray. And they hope that the doctors can fix what is broken inside Molly. Because if they can't, if something goes wrong, Alexis might not survive another loss. And then there is Christina. Christina is a mess. She is always a mess. But this Jacinda situation is a new level of messy. Jacinda is Michael's girlfriend. Michael is Christina's brother. It is a disaster waiting to happen, but Christina cannot help herself. She is drawn to Jacinda. She is drawn to the expensive luggage and the complicated past. And Molly sees right through it. Molly is lying in a hospital bed, about to go under anesthesia, and she is still the smartest person in the room. She points out the problem. She tells Christina to back off, but Christina won't. Christina is going to keep pushing until everything blows up, because that is what Corinthos kids do. They push until it breaks. Just like Sonny, just like Michael. It is in their blood. So, Monday is going to be a massive episode. It is setting the stage for the rest of the month. The funeral confrontation is the spark that is going to light the powder keg. Sidwell's anger, Sonny's defiance, Laura's guilt, Jordan's dangerous game, Nina's regrets. And the looming threat of Ross Cullum pulling the strings from his ICU bed, it is raw, it is messy, it is Port Charles at its absolute best and worst, and you just know that by the end of the week, someone else is going to be bleeding. Because peace never lasts in this town. It is just a brief pause before the next gunshot, and right now, everyone is just waiting to see who pulls the trigger first.